Good morning and happy Friday, everybody. This is the Rangers Review morning briefing with me, Derek Clark, and I'm joined this bright and breezy Friday morning by Johnny McFarlane. How are we getting on, Johnny?
Good, mate, good. Delighted to be back on the video. I feel like I've done a lot of videos in the last few days, so I was hoping to get somebody else on this morning to take a little bit of the heat off, but then I realised it was just me and you, mate. We're on our toilet.
The dream team. Okay, before we talk Rangers, folks, there is so much to talk about, so many comments coming in already. Apologies for running it a little bit late, but we'll crack on as soon as. If you want to take advantage of the website offer just now, just £2 for 2 months worth of content, head over to rangersreview.co.uk/subscribe, and I'll just stick the link in the comments section as well. You can go and find all the details. Okay, let's talk Rangers. The big news yesterday, Johnny, if you've not seen it, folks, we've done a Champions League draw reaction video. You can go and check it out. Of course, Rangers drawn in Group A with Ajax, Liverpool and Napoli. You've had time to sleep on it, Johnny. I don't think we don't yet know when they'll play each team. I think there was murmurings it might be at some point today. We'll find out, or even tomorrow.
I think it's Saturday,
morning.
Derek. It's going to be. That's what you for a briefing.
Yeah, so it doesn't leave much time for people to make plans. But you've had time to sleep on the draw, and there's been some nice comments I've been reading from the Jurgen Klopp and the coach at Napoli as well.
Maybe want to read those out, Derek. Maybe, especially the Spalletti ones are absolutely terrific. Actually, guys, I put the link in the description there in the comments because he's absolutely loving the prospect of playing what he calls legendary teams. Singles out Ibrox as well. Clearly, the Napoli manager just cannot wait for this group, and Jurgen Klopp extremely complimentary as well. I think there's a lot of excitement about what's going to be on offer in this one.
Yeah, I'll read it for you, folks. Spalletti says the most important thing is to be up to the level of the most prestigious club competition on the planet. Being up to that level increases the chances of being able to advance. We're in a group of 3 teams that represent the best history and tradition of European football. 3 legendary teams who play in 3 of the temples of European football: Johan Cruyff Arena, Anfield and Ibrox, the real immersion of the history and tradition of European and world football. And that's not including, of course, the Diego Armando Maradona Stadium, Johnny, which you're excited to attend. It's one of it's old school, shall we say. It's fallen to bits, but it's one of those that just oozes character and history everywhere, doesn't it? It's a real legendary ground.
Yeah, it is, and it'll be a real privilege to go there. I've been watching the stadium, as I've said in the video yesterday, since I was a kid, and I always remember the World Cup 1990 semi-final. Now, World Cup 1990 was massive for me because it was the first time I really properly got into football. I played a lot, but watching the game, I was 9, and it really, really took my love of the game to another level. Obviously, 30 years on, I'm here doing it for a living, so probably tells you a little bit about how I feel about it. And I always remember the games that were in Napoli, specifically the semi-final when Italy played Argentina, and Diego Maradona at the time, and still is, even in his death, is a demigod in Naples. You know, in Italian cities, you walk around and you see sort of little shrines to the Madonna everywhere, obviously, with it being a Catholic country. But in Naples, there's little shrines to Madonna. Maradona, not Madonna. That would be interesting. Material Girl. No, Maradona all over the shop. Everywhere you go, you see him sort of iconified almost. I don't even know if that's a word, but I'm using it for this. So it's clear how they feel about him. And in that specific game, the fans, the Italian fans, the Neapolitan fans, were almost getting behind Argentina more than they were Italy. And I always remember the atmosphere that was created that night. And there's a track that goes around the game that is sunken into the ground. So as you walk around, you can sort of see the fans. You can't see the pitch, the players as they're sort of getting ready. And you often see images from down there, and you can kind of see the fans, but you can't. You just hear the hum, and I've heard it's an incredible atmosphere. So hopefully I'll be able to get down there and stuff like that. But I'm really, really looking forward to that game. I think people will have to be careful going over there. I'm giving it big licks about Napoli. Napoli is a lovely city, but it's a very It's got a lot of poverty in it. There's these issues with the Camorra, who are the mafia over there. And it can be a dangerous place for football fans. So you have to be very, very careful when you go over there. It's not going to be necessarily like a Barcelona or whatever where you can go over and just rip into it. People will have to be really, really, really careful. But I think it'll be a real experience, and that's why I'm so excited about it, going across there and a proper footballing temple. As for the other two, well, we know all about Amsterdam and the delights that it offers. I'll leave that to you younger chaps. And in terms of Liverpool, well, I mean, I think we all know Liverpool inside out, don't we? So that's what it's all about. Three massive teams. Derek, I'll let you read the quotes.
Yeah. So that's what the Napoli boss Luciano Spalletti said about it. Love those quotes from him. Legendary clubs and stadiums as well. Jurgen Klopp, of course, also speaking as well. He's told Liverpool's website the first thing is this is a proper challenge. All of the clubs have quality. They all have pedigree, and I would say they all have a chance. The good thing is that we do also, so it makes sense for us to look forward to the challenge and give it a try. We did not ask for any favours, and we've not been given any, but this is not a competition where you can look for easy ways through because the standard is always unbelievably high. The difference this year is that the group stage will be shorter than usual, so we'll have to be ready not just for the quality of the opposition, but also for the different demands and rhythms. Of course, that's because the World Cup at the end of the year. It did mention Rangers as well. It says Rangers are a new opponent for us, but we know them too. Their story over the last few years has been really interesting, and they did really, really well to qualify for the group stage, given the teams they were up against in the qualifying matches. We also know a couple of their players well. Ryan Kent has had a great development since moving to Scotland, and Ben Davies is just starting out on his journey with Rangers, so it will be good to come up against them. The only certainty right now is that all of the 6 games will be incredibly competitive and really intense. I'm excited about it. It is a proper football group, and like I said, a proper challenge. Yeah, I can't wait, Johnny. I mean, some of the comments coming in are quite funny. I've got to laugh. Stuart Melvin said Lundstrom destroys Henderson and Milner. That's sort of listen, I think...
Lundstrom's a Scouser, isn't he? He's an Everton fan, isn't he?
Yeah, well, he started his career at Everton, so he came through their youth academy. I think he played a handful of games for them, but listen, I would fancy him up against those two. I think I mentioned it yesterday. Liverpool look like a team that's coming to the end of their cycle. Still a top class side, don't get me wrong, but they need fresh blood in there. I think that I seen them at Manchester United the other night, and they looked leggy. Trent Alexander-Arnold isn't firing in all cylinders. I think the defence is gettable, Johnny, and I would love to see Lundstrom going up against those two, but whether Jurgen Klopp plays him is another matter. But
you give me the fear with all this, Derek. Honestly, you're too confident about Liverpool. It really is. It's terrifying me. You know that this is going to be, if it goes badly wrong, all this stuff's going to get clipped up. We're going to have a Derek Clark compilation that's going to go absolutely viral. It's going to be some guy on Twitter, some sort of Celtic account will have Specky Hamilton fan gets it wrong. There'll be a plethora of these clips edited together. But anyway, actually, D-Mac saying Lundstrom's definitely a Liverpool fan. I think he is. I think when he signed, he said that Steven Gerrard was his hero growing up.
Yeah.
So actually, yes, I was confused because he did start out his career at Everton, as Derek says.
I loved the Twitter site Footy Accumulators or whatever said that Trent Alexander-Arnold will get the chance to play with the greatest right back in the country or the world, and just a picture of James Tavernier. That's another one I'm excited. I think you mentioned this yesterday, Johnny. Tav against Andy Robertson. Mm-hmm. It's just intriguing, and it'll be interesting to see how they get on. Trent Alexander was a liability at the back. Yep, he's having an absolute nightmare this season so far. So yeah, I think they're gettable. If Crystal Palace can score and get results at Anfield, then I think Rangers can as well. But who knows when those fixtures will take place? We're still awaiting the details and the finalisation of all of that. Saturday, we're told. But we'll find out. So keep your eyes peeled for that, folks. We'll break the news on the Rangers Review site as soon as it drops. There's a game tomorrow, Johnny. It's easy to forget that Ross County are up, of course. Everyone's getting carried away with the Champions League, rightly so. But Rangers back to business tomorrow. Vitally important they get back to winning ways in the league. Can't afford to drop points at home against Ross County.
No, and you know what? Ross County are actually one of the better teams, I think, in certainly better run teams in the Premier League. And although they've not had the best start to the season, they've only won one game, lost 3. They had a kind of weak start last season because Malky Mackay brought a lot of players in, and it took them a little bit of time to bed in. I suspect it's the same this year. People have opinions on Malky Mackay based on the whole situation that occurred in Cardiff, where his WhatsApp messages or his tweets were all categorised and then released, and there was obviously a lot of unfortunate stuff in there. But in terms of as a football manager, I think he's very good by Premiership standards in Scotland. And you can never discount Ross County while he's their manager. I think that's what we've learned last season. And they caused Rangers significant problems when they went up there. 2 points lost when you're 3-1 up. That is pivotal in how the league panned out and giving Celtic a bit of breathing room. So you take them lightly at your peril, Derek, is what I would say. Yes, the record at Ibrox is not great, but this is a game that must be won, and all the feel-good factor, the incredible feel-good factor that's surrounding the club at the moment will all be lost if that's not 3 points. So they absolutely have to get their focus back on now. They have to get the heads back into the game. Ross County is not as glamorous as Napoli or Ajax or Liverpool, that's for sure, but it's just as important, if not more so. And it's time to get really stuck into the bread and butter, and you'll need to pick a team that can do that.
Yeah, let's talk about our predicted lineups. We'll post these on the website later on, folks, but we'll give a quick idea of who would likely play. The press conference, incidentally, with Giovanni van Bronckhorst is this afternoon, so we'll get an injury update on a number of players. I know some people are asking about Alex Lowry. I think he went for a scan yesterday, so we'll try and figure out what the script.
We'll find out about Alex Lowry today at the press conference. There's no doubt about that. We will find out about that.
Yeah, Jim McCarroll says, interesting team choices for tomorrow. Davis, if fit, should be given a chance. Totally agree, Jim. Sands and Lundstram as holding midfielders. Sands was superb at the back. Johnny, I know some people say, and we know he can play that defensive midfield role, but would you be inclined just to keep it as is at the back four, or do you even bring Ridvan Yilmaz in as well?
I think they will keep it as it is, because I think that there's a game on Tuesday that is ripe for changing things up and trying things. You've got a little bit of breathing room against Queen of the South because of the quality gap between the teams. So I think there'll be a lot of run-outs for kind of players like Yilmaz and people who are at the moment sort of seen as squad players rather than first-team starters. I think that's a smart play to bring them in for that game, because, I mean, as I've said, Ross County is massively important. You've just come off the back of a draw in the league, and you can't afford another one. It is a must win. There is no doubt about that. Hard to say at this time of the season, but this is life at Rangers. And as for Stephen Davis, Derek, yes, that's an obvious one. I think Stephen Davis has to play against this type of
Ben Davis, if he's fit, do you play him, Johnny?
Ben Davis, if he's fit, I think probably would come into the Queen of the South game. But I think Stephen Davis, in terms of the ability to progress the ball through the thirds quickly against a team that will look to defend and spring on the break, is an absolute must for me. And I'm just of the opinion now that if you're playing domestic games and you're not away in Edinburgh or Aberdeen or Celtic, then Stephen Davis pretty much has to play. Just full stop.
Yeah, I've got to agree. I've got to admit. Some comments coming in about Matondo. Of course, he's found it had difficult so far domestically. Positive Vibe says he'll come good. He's had one poor game. I think it's going to take a little bit of time. Johnny, you said you said he's like a project player, if you like. He's still a young lad, we need to remember, and I think it's going to take him a wee bit of time to adapt to the physicality and the nature of Scottish football. But can you see him starting tomorrow at Ibrox?
Do I see him starting tomorrow at Ibrox? No, I don't. Again, just exactly the same thing, mate. I don't see a big number of changes.
Yeah.
I just don't think it would be time. I think Queen of the South. That would be the one.
Yeah. Okay. Some other interesting comments coming in. I'll touch on a couple of them here. Let's see what's coming here. Well, first of all, Tim Sharp talks about Antonio Cholak. See, Mark Haitley is retracted his comments about Antonio Cholak. It's on the website, folks. You can read them. He says that the players round about him have started to learn how to play to his strengths. And Tim Sharp gets in touch. He says, I have to apologise, Johnny. Cholak has been better than expected so far. He's been absolutely outstanding. He's going to lead the line again on Saturday. So Cholak will lead the line, but there was a comment that came in I wanted to touch on from Mark, who gets in touch. Zach Lovelace may be on the bench. Could you see that possibly happening?
Zach Lovelace. I think it's a possibility, obviously, with Morelos unavailable. I think you'd have to say he's 16, but he's played in the Championship in England. So there's that level of quality and physicality about him that he can cope with that. I think it was 4 appearances he made down there. So I think he's ready to do it. If he's played at the Championship level, he can do it. It's whether or not Gio will take that decision. I think it'll be very interesting to see that. And if his name's down, we'll know that he's making a serious impression on the manager. I would throw him in, honestly. I think I would, but I wonder if Gio will just think, well, Malik Tillman can play up front. Cholak's a bit of a machine physically. So what is the issue?
Yeah.
I think you have to earn it at Rangers now. They're not giving away appearances like confetti. So Zach Lovelace will have to really keep up a sustained level to get in.
Yeah, Teddy Bear says he hopes Lovelace is in the squad for the Cup game. I can certainly see that when Queen of the South come to Ibrox. And good friend of the show and terrific novelist Denzel Merrick gets in touch as well. Not glamorous tomorrow, but these are the games we need to win if we want more days like yesterday.
Derek, sorry, carry
yes.
on. Can I just come back to something that slightly distracted me, which is why I was... when you were talking about Morelos, I wasn't picking up that he was suspended here.
Yeah.
Adam Beanie Smith has said, Johnny doesn't go to home games or away games domestically, and especially away in Europe. So why does Johnny feel entitled and guaranteed Champions League away tickets ahead of paying supporters? Well, Adam, we are journalists. So we're not in with the supporters. We are in the press box. So that's how it works. You know, I'm not taking tickets from anyone. I'm not at the games every week, although I do go to some of the games because I'm the editor of the website and I'm back here in the command centre putting things together while the guys are out reporting. That's how it works. But, you know, I'm going to the game as a member of the press, so I'm not taking tickets off anyone. Yeah, absolutely. Bang on. So, it's a terrific job. There's no doubt about it. But we're at the games in a working capacity, trying to bring you the best Rangers content we can, folks. We're not there on jollies. Although it might look like it sometimes when I'm filming supporters and what have you, but it's tough work. It's tough work when you're out there. But it's jolly good fun. I must admit, and I'm really looking forward to the matches that are coming up. But yeah, tomorrow's huge. In terms of, you said Stephen Davis comes back in, Johnny. Not many changes, of course. In terms of the attacking forward players, who do you play? Malik Tillman, Tom Lawrence? Are you playing them again, or are you giving run-outs to anyone else, perhaps? Yeah, I mean, listen, in terms of the game against Ross County, I just think you've got in there a settled, probably maybe nine players that you just know are going to play. And if you have an opportunity like you do on Tuesday to change up and bring in players, then you can do that in a smart way. At this stage of the season, I think much of what Rangers need is about building a cohesion into the team. Now, I think we're starting to see that. We're starting to see the guys who have come in perform at a level where you look like they are almost like they've been there for a long time. You look at the performances of a James Sanson. I know he came in January, but he's essentially a new player because he didn't play an awful lot last season. He was coming in for appearances here and there. Tom Lawrence, I thought, was very, very solid in the game. Antonio Cholak, we don't need to talk anymore about what he's delivered. In terms of goals, he's been absolutely fantastic. So there's a sort of level of performance there with the new lads who have come in that is already shown that they're going to be good signings. So give them a bit more time, give them a bit more opportunity, and I think you'll really see them bedding in and performing to a level that I think everyone can get genuinely excited about. And I've not even included Malik Tillman there when I was talking about the new players, and we all know what he's given. It's absolutely incredible that this guy has only played, I think, 7 or 8 games in his full career now. This is a young kid, but he's just hit the ground running so terrifically well that you forget that. I mean, you would not look at this kid and think this is a guy that's just bursting onto the first team map for the first time. I think he only made 4 appearances for Bayern Munich, and they were substitute appearances. So
yeah,
really, really exciting. And these guys can only get better, and that bodes really, really well.
Yeah, nice comment there from Lisa and a few others. Thank you, Lisa. Glad you're enjoying the work that we do. I like this comment from Andrew Stewart, and I mentioned this after the game on Wednesday night, Johnny. I was delighted for John McLaughlin because I thought it was a real proper commanding goalkeeping performance. Andrew Stewart says, I think McLaughlin really stepped up to the task on Wednesday night. Huge performance, cracking save in the first leg too. That was huge, wasn't it, when the boy was through and he made that block at Ibrox. And for me, I think the debate now and the murmurings, the clamour for Alan McGregor to come back in, I think John McLaughlin is the number one going forward. No qualms, no concerns. I know people were thinking Rangers need to invest in a new goalkeeper, bring in another number one. I don't think they do, Johnny. I think John McLaughlin, for me, steady pair of hands, commands his area, comes out and punches balls clear, which must be such it's a good safety net to have if you're the back line, having that behind you, knowing that he's going to come and punch balls away. So for me, John McLaughlin is proper Rangers number one, and going forward, no debate for me.
Yeah, and Derek, all credit to you, because you were banging on about this last season. I think you wrote a couple of pieces about it, that you felt that John McLaughlin was the answer. And you've got to say, so far, I think that's been proven pretty properly, hasn't it? I mean, one mistake in Belgium, as Alan McConnell there says, that apart, I think he's been very commanding. And listen, guys, that's the main thing, isn't it? We know Alan McGregor's a brilliant shot stopper, and he's an absolute legend. No one can ever take that away. And when Alan McGregor was at his peak, what a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
None of that is in doubt. But the one thing John McLaughlin does that I think really helps calm this defence is he comes out and he punches the ball so decisively. His punching, I thought, was absolutely outstanding. Now, you think about Alan McGregor in that situation. He sits on his line. He's done that his whole career, so it's not a criticism. But if you do that, you need really towering centre-halves that are going to get that ball away. Now, listen, the greatest goalkeeper I've ever seen in the flesh is Andy Gorham. He never came for a cross ball. Richard Gough and John Brown and Dave McPherson and others used to head the ball away. Terry Butcher was before his time, but you get the idea. Yeah. They used to head the ball away week in, week out, and Andy Gorham was able to stay on his line and show off his reflexes when he was needed. But you need defenders like that if you're going to adopt that philosophy. I think the minute John McLaughlin comes in, he just takes the pressure off the back line whenever somebody throws a ball in the box. And listen, I thought that game was a perfect example of it. PSV are excellent in set pieces. Craig and Joshua know far more about football than me or Derek could ever know.
Yeah.
And they went into detail about PSV set pieces. Watch them all day long. But I thought John McLaughlin, because he came and he didn't claim the ball, but he came and put his name on the ball, that made every bit of difference. And as Barry says, he made a crucial stop at a crucial time. I don't think John McLaughlin is a brilliant shot stopper in the same way Alan McGregor is, but he showed he can still come up with big saves. Yeah. And I just think that as much as anything else, it's about the confidence he's given.
Yeah, I totally agree. I love this boxing analogy from this username, which I absolutely love. The man who ate the boiled ham raw. He punches better than Anthony Joshua.
That's true, isn't it?
And Steely FM says an interesting point. I think Alan McGregor will be the cup keeper, like McLaughlin was before. Wouldn't be surprised to see that coming in on Tuesday night. But likewise, wouldn't be surprised if Robbie McCrory was given an opportunity on Tuesday night. I would like to see that as well. Rangers have got 3 top quality goalkeepers. It's not an area of the pitch they need to be concerned about. Okay, I think we'll do it. That'll do us there. We're about to go off and speak to Scott Arfield, who's going to talk to ourselves and various media outlets shortly. So you'll get all the reaction from Scotty shortly. Thanks everyone for tuning in as ever. So many of you on, so it's great to see. If you want to take advantage of the website as well, head over to rangersreview.co.uk. We've got a terrific offer on just now. rangersreview.co.uk/subscribe, just £2 for 2 months worth of content. It's an absolute bargain. We'll be back again tomorrow. Joshua will be at Ibrox for us for all the reaction, also the pre-match videos from there. But until then, enjoy the rest of your Friday.